What's going on, guys? This is the Hunt Studio. My name is Hunter, and I want to jump right into this because it's a bit of a passionate passionate subject for me. Something I've been thinking about for a long time, and something I'm just now realizing, or have known for a little while, but it's just now clicked into my brain, into the conscious mind rather than the subconscious. It's a bit of a passionate subject for me. And to give you a bit of a context, right now I'm headed to Office Depot, driving on the interstate. Headed to Office Depot. I am buying and selling online on Facebook and on OfferUp, things of that nature. So I'm headed to Office Depot to print out a shipping label to send these products off to people who've purchased them. And my brain, it's been doing this thing for a couple of months now, probably 3 or 4 months, where it just keeps reminding me, my brain does, it keeps reminding me that I'm going to die. And that is utterly terrifying. And it has been since this started. I mean, right? So one of my biggest fears, honestly, is death. And I'm sure most people can relate, because we don't really want that to happen. We don't really, most people just kind of push it over to the back of their brains and just kind of ignore it until it happens, right? And I've honestly been doing that my whole life. But here recently, my brain won't let me just ignore it. It's forcing me to acknowledge the fact that it's gonna happen, right? And so it's the biggest thing that keeps happening, and this it straight up triggers me into anxiety and causes me to panic a little bit, because the trail of thoughts that happen go, you're gonna die, you're going to, if you don't be intentional with your movements, with your ideas, with your passions, if you're not intentional with your life, you're going to waste it away, and you'll have done nothing productive towards your purpose. And then you'll die, and you'll have wasted your life away. And that is terrifying. That is so scary. Because this isn't an active thought in my brain. This is it keeps happening automatically, and I have to shut it down, because it's every day now. It's every waking moment, from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep. You have to do it. At first it was preventing me from acting. It had me paralyzed. It had me scared. It had me all I wanted to do was lay in my bed and jump under the covers and just hide from the world, hide from danger, hide from shame, hide from anything and everything and everyone. Just hide, because I can't die if I'm out of harm's way. Well, that's not real, obviously. I've since pushed past that, and it's an active. I have to be very intentional with my actions, my opportunity that I have. We get one shot, obviously. And so I have to be, the only way this turns off is if I remind myself that, yes, I am doing what makes me happy. I'm becoming more purpose-driven. Why am I doing what I'm doing? I can't just wander aimlessly. It's something I had a bad habit of doing up until recently, is just kind of wandering aimlessly through life. What the heck am I doing? I don't know. Now it's become more, you're doing this thing and it's healthy, but why? Specifically, you want to make art for a living. Why? You want to work for yourself. Why? You don't want to work a 9-to-5 anymore. Why? That's what my brain keeps asking me. Why? Why do you want this? Why? What's the purpose behind this? And so I'm forced to dig deep because I have to justify my actions based on my brain is asking me the pressuring question of why are you doing it? Because if you're not doing it for a reason, you're wasting your time is kind of what it is just like clockwork. It's what it's telling me. You're wasting your time if you have no purpose behind it, right? And so I've been seeking this purpose because there is purpose behind it. There's purpose behind me wanting to make art for a living. And at first I didn't know. I just it clicked for me. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. I was in the army. I was deployed in Iraq, and I was all by myself. I was isolated, and with me I brought a book to read, a journal to write in, and a sketchbook to draw in. And then I started drawing, reading, and writing consistently, and it just clicked for me. And I learned that expressing myself in a manner that I understand and I know how, it feels so good and so powerful, specifically art and writing, drawing, painting, writing, speaking as I am right now, I'm expressing myself. That gives me energy because as a child, I was always told to sit down and shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up and do what I tell you. That's all I've ever been told up until I turned into an adult, and then I hauled tail, So sit down, shut the fuck up is what I had to go off of. And so I would secretly, when I was a kid, when I was a child, I don't want to get off on a tangent too bad, but I would, that's how I would express myself is I wasn't allowed to think, speak, or act unless I was told to do so. And usually it was to meet a demand that was suitable of my parents' opinions. I wasn't allowed to express myself otherwise. Yeah. So I would go upstairs to my room, I would shut the door, I would turn my music on, and I would turn it up as loud as I could, just forget the world existed and just start making lines on the paper, whether it be drawing or writing. And that's kind of where it started, and that's kind of why it started. And so that was about 10 years ago or so. I was in high school, 15, 16, 17 years old. It was about that time period. Now I'm 25. And just now, while I was driving down the road to Office Depot, that thing kicked in my brain. It said, why are you doing this? Why are you... Because I just quit my job. Okay, I'm in Colorado. I decided it was time for me to go do some other things, just to expand and go somewhere else. It's time to go. And this fear factor jumped in whenever I quit my job. I called my boss and said, hey, I'm quitting. I'm done. And he asked me to work again, like in the next 3 days. I need you for the next 3 days. I've officially quit my job, and the money that I have in my pocket is essentially what I have, aside from the things I have for sale, like whatever. But that's all I have, and now I have to go, I'm going to travel. I'm going to go to a new location, which I haven't even figured it out yet. I'm going to leave in 2 or 3 weeks, and I don't even know where I'm going. I have no freaking clue. But that's okay. I'm not worried about that. The big question of why are you leaving? Why did you quit your job? Why did you halt your financial goals to pursue a different goal? Why? And so I had to remind myself. I just stopped immediately. I shut that down. I said, nope, I'm not allowing this to take over because it's fear, it's anxiety, it's all these things. I shut it off, and I started saying to myself out loud, like I'm doing right now, I said, no, I have so much going for me. I'm so grateful for the things that I have. First off, for the simple fact of I have an able body. I have all 5 of my senses: sight, smell, hearing, tasting. What's the other one? Senses: touch, feel. No, touch, smell, sight. What? I have a fully functional, able body. I can walk, I can talk, I can think for myself. I have choice. I have mobility. I have a vehicle that is fully paid for, 100% paid for. I just threw a $200 battery into it, and now it runs and drives better than it did the day I got it. And every time I put $1 into it, it runs better than the day I got it. It's really cool. It's really awesome. But I am so capable. I am allowed to express myself. I'm allowed to show people. And I started doing that. I started saying the things that I'm grateful for, the things that I'm capable of. And it got me thinking, like, it just snapped. Bam, there it is. That's your purpose. And I'm like, whoa, it just kind of happened. So I went into this tangent. Like, I asked myself, what are you excited about coming soon? Like sometimes I have a hard time thinking into the future, like 1 to 5 to 10 to 100 years into the future. I have a hard time thinking about that. It's hard to catch up with a day-to-day, like what's happening right now. So I was like, what am I looking forward to in the next 7 days? 7 days. And, well, in a couple of days, in a week or so, my hoodie that I designed and did a pre-order for, those are going to be mailed and be directed to my house, my apartment that I'm staying in Colorado. I'm going to get this big box from Jack Prince, and it's going to have my hoodie in it. They printed my design on one of their hoodies, and holy crap, I sold it, and that's something that's now a reality. My hoodie, my tangible, whatever physical thing, is a reality, and people purchased them, and I made a little bit of money off of it, and it was so cool. And then I got to a trail of thoughts of, I'm looking forward to getting that box, seeing it at the front door, and getting all giddy and excited, and then running inside and pulling out the knife and ripping that tape off and ripping the box open and seeing this art that I've now reproduced 3 times. I've drawn it 3 times. I get to see it in person on a hoodie. And that is magical. That's so empowering. It's so, like, it helps me feel justified. It helps me to feel a little bit closer, just a little bit closer to my goal of having me making art as a full-time gig. And then I also said I'm looking forward to explaining it. Like, I'm looking forward to telling the story, because I'm going to make a whole YouTube video about it. I'm going to make a whole YouTube video about, I'm going to get cool angles of it. I'm going to have somebody wear the hoodie, and do some cool angles and some whatever, and then tell the story about how this came about, because it was a complete accident. But just like the idea, bam, the thing, it just came to me of, I'm going to make art for a living. That just kind of came to me. I didn't have a reason why. I didn't have this long, drawn-out purpose or passion or whatever behind it. It just clicked. It came to me. And I said, okay, brain, okay, God, that's what I'm going to do. It just came to me instantly. And undoubtedly, like, of course I've had my self-doubts or whatever, but I refuse to quit. I've been tempted, but I won't do it. And here we are 3 years later, and I've gained some success. I've gained some mobility. I'm gaining traction, and no, I'm not freaking famous over it yet. But the goal is to make a living off of it, and it's happening. I'm getting one step closer, and it's gonna happen. And I have faith in that. Also, I look forward to telling the story. I look forward to making the video. I look forward to, because a little tangent, I don't like video editing. I like to shoot the video. I like to, hold the camera and operate it and change the ISO and the aperture and the shutter speed and all, and get the angle just right and get it on the third, the shot. And I also enjoy being in front of the camera. I like to smile in front of the camera. I like to feel good, and I work out and I feel good about myself, and I want to portray that onto people, not to be arrogant or anything, but to inspire people. Like, if I'm happy and healthy and people see that and they can actually see that and they feel that energy, they also become a little bit like, because a lot of times people are negative or down and out, or just kind of mindlessly operating, just like I'm talking about right now. And all I want to do is inspire people to get out of that just mental cycle, that absent-minded living, the only thing I'm doing is just kind of going to work, getting a paycheck, looking on the Instagram or whatever and getting an inspiration for things to buy and then buying it based off of someone else's opinion or someone else's like viewpoint or status, whatever they see, like, oh, you own this car, that means you're successful. No. I go a little bit deeper than that. So, and I want to break that cycle. Like, some people don't even know that this is a problem. Some people don't know that, like, this American dream that America, like this society has put onto us is a problem. They're creating machines by forcing us through a schooling system that teaches us how to be good students, how to be good employees, and can urge us, highly encourage us to go to college and pursue something and get a job based off of a piece of paper that says you're inclined to memorization, you know, like I have a high level of memorization ability. So they hire you based off of merit, a sheet of paper that says you have a degree, and you work that, and then you climb that corporate ladder, and then you stop at some point, and then you retire with, you know, hopefully you put enough money in your 401k, and then you retire, and then you stop working at, 65, 75 years old? Man, what? Put a little bit of thought into that. Who enjoys, say you graduate 17, high school, and then you graduate college at 21, and then from 21 to fucking 65 for 5 days a week, minimum, you wake up at 5 a.m., some people 4, some people 3 a.m., and they go to work and get off anywhere between 2:30 and 5:50 p.m., and then come home and have just enough energy to say hey to your wife or whatever, you know, like have just enough energy to kick your shoes off, get undressed, and if you go to, like me, what I've been doing is getting off of work, putting new clothes on, going to the gym, and by the time I get back from the gym, it's dark outside. I'm exhausted. I take a shower, I eat dinner, and I'm ready for bed, and that's the end of it. Because I gotta make sure I gotta wake up in enough time to go to work in the next morning. Like, what kind of crap? That don't sound fun to me. And all the while, you're making somebody else a lot of money, and they pay you a little bit of money, you know. And no, like something's flawed in that system. And most people don't even think that this is an issue. I see this is a problem. Like, I'm not falling into this category. I'm not falling into this circus, this freaking clown show. I'm not doing it. And I've realized that it's going to take, I know this is like completely, I'm getting there to the purpose portion, you know, like, what's my purpose? Why am I doing this? But I want to get to the point that, like, I'm willing to eat for a little while, you know? Like, what I mean by that is, like, I'm willing to sacrifice a vacation. I've been on one vacation since I graduated high school 8 years ago. I went to Disney World, you know, after I got back from Baghdad, Iraq. I don't count that as a vacation. I was deployed. I got back and I went to Disney World in 2018. This is the last time I went on a vacation. That was the end of it. And I'm okay with that. I'm actually okay with that because I can make art at the house. I can paint, I can draw, I can sit there, and I like it like that. I can have the lighting however I want. I can have whatever music I want playing. I can shut my door. I can just kind of exist in my own little universe, and I can make art. And that right there gives me, that fires me up, you know, I feel accomplished like that. But anyway, I'm willing to sacrifice a vacation. I'm willing to sacrifice a 401k. I'm willing to sacrifice the blank idea of retiring at 65, you know, so I don't have to get up in the morning anymore at 65. No. I want to work for myself, make my own money on my own time so I can wake up whenever the hell I want to, because I'm not a 5 a.m. person. I'm just not. I'd rather wake up 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock. 10's a little too late. 7 or 8 o'clock, you know? That's me. That's what I feel most comfortable if I go to bed 11:30. Midnight's a little too late. Maybe 11:30. Wake up at 7 or so, I feel rested completely. And I feel active. I feel energetic. I feel lively. But I feel like I'm wasting away if I go to bed at like 9:30, and then wake up at 4:30 to get up and get ready and be at work at 6 or 7. Like, no, thank you. No. I don't want that. All for the sake of a consistent income. All for the sake of, if you don't have a degree, $30,000 a year. $20 an hour. No, thank you. No freaking thank you. That's the job I just quit, by the way. $20 an hour, $33,000 a year. No. And that sleep cycle, I'm so unhappy. I'd rather work at a part-time job, maybe even a full-time job, making half of that, doing something like cooking. I've been thinking about cooking a lot. Like, I love to cook. I love cooking. I can work at a restaurant for $10, $12 an hour and cook for 20 hours a week and then go home and then make whatever, art, and then have a couple of roommates, because as long as I have my own bedroom, I'm fine with that. Pay my portion of rent. I'm okay with that. I'm 25. I'm not like 40, 50. I don't care. All the while pay off my debt that I've, accumulated over the last 8 years. So my purpose, I just figured out my purpose today. My purpose, my reason for doing this is selfish in nature, from the fact that I get to express myself. I get to show how I'm feeling. I get to say what I'm thinking. I get to write what I'm feeling. I get to draw my feelings of, and it just, that's how I express myself, is through my feelings and through my emotions. And because of my past, my childhood of sit down and shut the fuck up and do whatever I tell you to do, living life like that, I refuse to be treated in such a manner now. And I know that there are other people out there that are my age, that are younger, that are older, whatever, that got taught the same way, that treated the same way. Sit down and shut the fuck up and do chores, and you're grounded because I said so. Only because I said so. There's no other justification. There's no explanation as to why I'm doing what I'm making you suffer, because I'm mad. I'm taking it out on you for no reason. Like, I know that other people have been treated that way. And my purpose is to give you permission. I gave myself permission to express myself, say how I'm feeling. Tell your boss to fuck off if you don't like him. Express yourself. That's it. That's the end of it. Like, express yourself. Exprésate, as they say in Espanol. Like, that's it. That's the big point. That's why I make videos. I thought it was like some self-fulfilling prophecy type thing. I figured it would be like, I'm going to make videos for 3, 4, 5 years and I'm going to make $1 million off of it. Yeah, well, my videos have brought me in $0 right now. $0 from YouTube. From Patreon, I've gotten like $30, right? From viewers and stuff. If you want to support me on Patreon, boop, 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 yeah. So Patreon has brought me about $30. YouTube, $0. Instagram, $0. My hoodie, I've launched a hoodie and I've launched a t-shirt, and together with all of the sales, they've brought me in about $300. Over the course of 3 years now, almost 4, $300, that's about $100 a year. That's not quite there, so something deeper than money has to be there for me to keep doing this. I know eventually it's going to turn into a financial thing, and that's going to be my resource, and I'm going to do whatever the hell I want to with enough money, whatever. So it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. But right now, for me to keep doing what I'm doing, to be okay with working a crap job for a little bit of money, just outside of my comfort zone, I have to have a purpose driven deeper than money. And to be honest, it started out with the immediate thought was, whenever it it first came about when I was in Iraq, I said, no, I'm doing this for a living, art. And that was the end of it. It never really became about dollar amount, how much money. It only became about, I want enough money to say no more working for others. It's never been a specific dollar amount. It's only been enough. How much is enough? And to be honest, right now, enough is about $500 a week, to be honest. And I'm sitting in the Office Depot parking lot right now, and I'm getting ready to ship off 2 packages, which total, both of them together, maybe $200. I woke up this morning, felt a little passionate, took a couple of pictures, and wrote a description about some objects that has just been kind of laying around at my house. And I sold them. $200. Bam. You know, and I'm okay with letting them go because, I mean, I'm done with them. That's it. So, that's it. Very simple. And I'll probably take this money, the money that I have, and I'll collect it all. Right now, I'm getting ready to collect all my money, all my resources, you know, like simplify my life again, and probably hit the road like I did 2, 3, 4 months ago, however long it was, Christmas time, and get ready to go. And maybe go back to the Southeast because I miss the Southeast. The weather is preferable over there. I like that heat is coming around, and I'm actually really, really, really looking forward to it. I enjoy the humidity. I enjoy the people. The quality of people is different. I'm out here in Colorado, and the quality of people here and in the South is just different. And I prefer it in the Southeast. I prefer the collection of people in the South to be exposed to on a day-to-day basis, you know. I like people as a whole. I think people, just, you know, a lot of people are just a product of their environment. And I'm understanding of that. And so I'm not mad at the people who do X, Y, and Z, whatever. Just because if they're mad, angry, whatever, yelling, hoo-ha, I'm understanding that you are probably just having a piss poor day and don't want to be spoken to or addressed or get out of my way. And that's fine. However, it seems to be happening more and more because I'm in a largely populated area. So I'm exposed to it a lot. However, you get down to the Southeast and it's like way smaller population. This population's much, much smaller, and the negative interaction with people is going to happen. I'm not trying to run away from negativity. It's going to happen. I just prefer to be exposed to it less. That's all. Because of the population and because generally, like, people, I don't know. I just like people. I like people. People are cool. Yeah. That's something else is a tangent, a little side note, is something I feel myself evolving. I feel myself growing as a person, as a creative, as an expressionist, as an artist, as a businessman. That one's tough. I got to get some mentors on the business portion. But, like, all of these things, I'm learning that everything revolves around your interaction and your perspective and your point of view on point of view, perspective, same thing. This is like, it's based on your success is almost directly correlated with how you treat other people from the beginning, with no money involved. You know, like the person walking across the street or your next door neighbor, or how you treat people as a whole. When you look at a person, what goes through your brain? If it's like you stick your nose up and regardless, without any context at all, you just see a person, you're just like, bleh. I used to do that really, really, really bad. And I was always depressed and always like wondering, why in the heck am I so sad? Why won't people interact with me? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with them? Oh, they just don't, whatever. You know, I was blaming it on other people. But then I started to pay attention to how I interact with other people. And to their face, I'm all smiley and yeah. But in real life, in my real actual brain, like when it's like a whatever, like an outsider looking in type of thing, I stick my nose up at you and just out of context, just dismiss you. And that's unfortunate. And I noticed I was doing that, and I'm now much more intentional with my movements, my actions, my thoughts, my whatever. And I learned I'm now much more happy, a much happier person because of my perspective on human beings as a whole. When I see a human being and I see them exist, like simply like not looking mad, sad, happy, whatever, just kind of walking, just kind of existing. Give them a compliment and see what happens. Their world lights up completely. Hey, I like your whatever. Hey, I hope you're having a really good day today, with a smile. You know, I rolled the window down to a mailman, and he was just kind of lugging around a little bit and had this big satchel slam full of letters and packages and stuff. And I looked at him, I rolled the window down at a stop sign, and I said, hey, man, I hope your day's going great. And this man, like, I watched his attitude change from slouchy, dragging his feet, and he was right there on the sidewalk. And whenever I said that and he looked over and saw me smiling and understood what I said, his back straightened up. Like his spine just whoop, you know, like stiffened up, and he got a big smile on his face, and his like he was on a mission. As soon as I turned away, as soon as I drove off, like he started hauling booty, like quadrupled his speed, and it just made his mood better. Like, and I watched that. I directly yet indirectly had a play on someone else's day, and instead of tearing it down and judging and dismissing and whatever, all I did was say something nice to somebody who I have no like, I don't know this person. I'll probably never see him again. But I watched him smile. I watched his mood change, and it was so beautiful. It was so amazing. And that inspired me to do it again. And the next time I pulled up at another stop sign, another red light, I saw a man holding a sign, a cardboard sign that says help or whatever, just need food, hungry, whatever. And I was at a red light, and I was probably behind 10 or 15 people at this red light. And so I got out, shut my door, and ran to him as fast as I could and I pulled out all the money that was in my pocket and handed it to him. I had just gone grocery shopping. I had just paid my bills. All this money, you know, the money that I had in my hand was extra money. It was, you know, I'd already spent my little fun money, my little experience money I was looking forward to. You know, it didn't have a purpose. And it was going to get spent on stupid stuff anyway, like a Snickers bar or whatever. I don't eat Snickers. Who am I talking about? It was going to get spent on energy drinks, gummy candy, and probably a video game. And that's it. Or gas, just kind of aimlessly wandering. So, and I decided immediately, I ran up to this man, and I handed him this money, and it wasn't a lot of money. It was some money, though. But I gave it to him. And he said something along the lines of, thank you, have a blessed day, or something like that. But just the sheer act of me getting out, and he watched me run all the way over to him, you know, like 10, 15 cars ahead, and I handed it back. I handed him this money, whatever, we interacted, fist bump, and I went to walk away, and I felt his positive vibes behind me, like he just chipper, just lighting up. And then I just happened to, out of sheer curiosity, glanced up at the people who were in their cars still, looking at them, and their cross, cruel, disgusted faces looking at me as I walked back to my truck. They all had just nasty, evil-looking faces on them, and I knew what they were thinking. But I didn't care. And I dismissed it because I was once that person. Because I would judge people out of context. You know, like they don't know me. They don't know why I did this. You know, and I would do the same thing. And so I just feel myself growing as a person. And again, another purpose behind that is just to open your mind, like, yo, this might be something you're doing. You might want to pay attention. You might want to change that. And it all just revolves around perspective. So that's the end of it. Yeah, so I think I'm going to wrap this up. I got to go into Office Depot before they close. Yep. I also have to urinate and get on with my life. So I hope you got some value out of this. I hope, I don't know, like, comment down in the comments section how this affected you. Like what's your viewpoint on all this? And also, I'm open to ideas for my next artistic project, like a collaboration, a painting, a drawing, a specific whatever. Like I painted on my Nintendo Switch, and I painted on my computer. I painted on my Game Boy Advance. I changed the shell of my Pro Controller for my Switch. I'm about to change the shell for my Nintendo Switch itself. I'm super into like tinkering with technology right now. And it's actually inspiring me to like dive a little bit deeper into technology and possibly maybe get a part-time job or something with that, because kind of cool, kind of awesome. I like technology. I like to see like the boards and the electricity, like the wiring and stuff underneath it. And like, I don't quite understand it, but I want to. So that might be something I pursue. But anyway, I want you guys to have a nice, beautiful, awesome day or night. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever day it is. Thank you again. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much. You guys are the reason I keep making these videos. Yeah. I love you guys. Thank you. This is the Hunt Studio. My name is Hunter. I'll see you later. See ya.